was a bar back then, and it still is. There is Driver's Drug, which is now a taxidermy shop, and there's the old Safeway, but most of the buildings are gone. This was the boarding house right here, a three-piece boarding house, but they called it the Broadway dining house. And this is Mrs. Reapy.
I know the Reapy's boarding house.
And this is her husband. He built the boarding house, and he built the corner bar. Later it became the Helsinki bar.
Sure.
This is the real stuff?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is my start though. Okay. All Finns used to drink coffee like this. Bob's mother still drank coffee like this. She just passed away just last month.
Well, I guess correct me if I'm wrong, but what I remember, Mandy she'd have her coffee and put the sugar lump on the thing, and she'd pour her coffee in there with cream, and then she'd drink it like this. And so she drank her coffee
to cool it off that way.
and just keep adding to the.
Monsters graveyard. Is that in mind?
Were there as many saunas as bars? Were there a lot of saunas? As many
Well,
as
there
the
was that one on
bars?
East Broadway, that public one.
They had quite a few saunas there. People,
Different.
A lot of people had their own too, private.
and then, but behind the Helsinki they had some. And then there was another public sauna farther down than 500 block. This one here was on the 500 block. But it was big. There was many places to go
It
sauna.
was really booming before we came.
Mhm.
There was a bakery there by Harrington's. What was that? The Royal Bakery?
Baboita,
So what color
bread and butter.
Did
This
you
is
see the pizza
Filia.
over there?
It's kind of like
yogurt.
yogurt. And cardamom rolls. And that's an oven pancake. It's called krupsla.
Let me see.
They
I
have
know
lots
it's your
more
mom and Irene and Swan.
So these were very common?
Common all the time. But they had
Oh, this is
lots.
Oh, there it is. That's not your bathroom.
Churches. Finnish Lutheran. They spoke all Finn. Most of us didn't know what they were talking about as kids. But
That's right.
all the sermons were in Finn. The Finnish gospel was more of an Assembly of God type, but that was English.
I have a picture of Luana, Sharon, and Lou Sharon sitting outside of that church.
The Finnish Lutheran.
The
That was
Finnish
Sharon
gospel.
was 3
Finnish
years
gospel.
old.
Oh, you know, I remember that. You've got to.
Because when I was young, we went to the Finnish Gospel Church, and then we went to the Lutheran Church.
Emmanuel Lutheran first.
Yeah.
And then they got going to the Pastor Till was that Finnish church on Park Street. His name was Till, Pastor Till.
Did you go to Grant? Bob?
Yep, we all went to grant school.
Grant School.
In fact, I was just telling Ronnie about it when they tore that down. Mrs. Erickson was our 4th grade teacher,
Oh, she's
and I went to her last class, and I was already well into my 20s. And I went to her last class, and she said, "What are you doing here, Bobby Peltomer?" And I said, "I wanted to see the last day of the last class
that was
in
nice.
grant school." So myself and Dave Johnson went and sat through her class that day.
Oh, I would have loved
Wow.
that.
everything we're talking about is from a teenager's view. Notice I said "our" in there. That we're trying to show that Butte's alive and well, and it's looking good, and we have a good future with these.
I think that's a great place to start. So it sounds like you've thought about your script a little bit already too. The kids, I think, are starting to realize how much work goes into making any kind of video or film project. And it's not just pointing your camera at something and then, you have a masterpiece. There's all these other tasks that I think your average kid probably doesn't think about.
In places like Butte, Montana, where the history is inextricably bound to our self-identity, to who we are, it's important for these intergenerational conversations to happen so that our young people, they feel like they're a part of our history in this place.
We're just gonna ask him to tell us some stories about Butte and see what he knows about the mines, the mine closing.
So studying hard-used places that are the scars on the landscape, and hard-used people who have been sacrificed in a lot of ways, are arguably the most important people that we ought to study, because they teach us lessons about who we are, where we come from, and where we're going.
We've got over 10 minutes of film.
Well, we're gonna edit it out because there's a lot of stuff I don't know.
Yeah. And then me and Haley went to the archives and that, so we've got pictures and stuff on here.
So they're getting a real education in the filmmaking process, and then at the same time, because they're talking to so many different people in the community, and because they're exploring these different local topics, I think they're learning about the place they live in, and I think they're also getting to meet some real interesting local characters, and hopefully the end result of that is both the kids and the people they've worked with have a better sense of community at the end of the project. And I think ultimately that might be the best thing an audience would get out of it as well.
Got a copper mine that runs at 24 hours a day. Some real close friends of mine work there, shoveling dirt and getting paid. It's a city that was built in blood and sweat, hard work of our granddads. They dug it a mile high and a mile deep and passed it on to us young lads. Well, I'm real damn proud to be where I come from. It's a big sky country in the land of the setting sun. And if you got a problem with that, I got something to say. I'm proud to be from Butte, America, USA. Watching over me and you, protecting this old city here, built on the red, the white, and the blue. And they say that this place could be the richest hill on earth. It's rich with good people and working men, and I know that's a fact for sure. Well, I'm real damn proud to be where I come from.